Movies, they're good. And when movies come out and companies want more money, in come movie tie-in games. You can get some easy money by retelling a story in game form, but some of these are actually pretty good. Today we'll have a look at some of them. Good luck, me. I know I'll need it. Peanuts, the franchise, not the food. A comic strip released by Charles Schulz, first premiering in 1950, featuring a boy and his dog Snoopy. Not only has Peanuts changed, but now Peanuts has become a lot of things. Like if you told me that cocaine was Snoopy dust, then I'd be interested. It even got a movie, and with movies come movie tie-in games. The Peanuts movie, focused on Charlie Brown, has a tie-in game about Snoopy. And when I think of Peanuts, I think of the kite-eating tree, so I guess I lose either way. But that begs the question, is the game good? Short answer, no. Long answer, no. But regardless, let's give this game a shot. So first of all, the art style is pretty fun to look at for 10 minutes. After that, all these levels start to blend together. Oh boy, a new pipe! Seriously, while each world looks nice and has a unique ensemble of enemies, I don't enjoy the lack of changes in the levels themselves. Like, you'd think these two are the same levels, and there's nothing memorable like the opening screen of 1-1 from Super Mario Bros. Despite this, there are some seriously good looking worlds and some not so much. Snoopy himself has a decent moveset. You can move, jump, glide. That's it. Yeah, the moveset is very simple, but for what it's worth, it works most of the time. Woodstock is here too. For those not in the know, Woodstock is Snoopy's friend, who is a bird? It's a second player character where they can almost feel like they're helping. Unlike something like Murphy in Rayman Legends, Woodstock just kind of comes in to open a wall sometimes. You never need him, and hell, sometimes he's useless anyway. However, if Snoopy's too boring and you have no friends that want to play Snoopy's Grand Adventure with you, then may I introduce costumes. You can open chests to get fun abilities, fun not included. You'd think after all the work I put in for you, you people would give me more than a magnifying glass. And who the hell is Joe Cool? The vast majority of these abilities could have been permanent. Like, you're telling me there's no attack button without a macho costume? Does Snoopy have self-esteem issues? There are some fun bosses and a lot of collectibles, which are a pain to get when some of these levels are like mazes. So overall, don't buy this unless it's cheap. You can play Leps World 2 and get the same level of enjoyment. This game made me angry, and you know what I do when I'm angry to take out my rage? I bomb innocent civilians, and there's only one game where you can do that, and it's Angry Birds. We all know it, most of us can't play it anymore, but why did they get a movie? Hell, why did they get 2 movies? You can't tell me these games have a story to tell. Anyway, they made an Angry Birds movie, and how are they going to make a bad Angry Birds game out of this? We had 5 bad Angry Birds games ago. I suppose to spice things up, this is a VR game. Don't know why, considering this movie is for kids, or morons, or drug addicts, all of which technically shouldn't be able to play VR. However, I've seen a fetus crawl out of a womb with a VR headset, so it makes sense. Let's see how bad this game is. Now, this is Angry Birds, as you know it, but in VR with... Yeah, as you can tell, this game has awful tracking. Like, this is the worst I've ever seen in a VR game. And why? It's so simple. All you're doing is holding one move controller and pulling the other one back and letting it go. But I don't understand how they could mess this up. Regardless, it should be a very good game. It's everything we know and love and tolerate about Angry Birds, but it's in VR and none of it really works. It did start working like 20 minutes in, I think, but it's kind of too little too late for most people, I think. But these levels are cool. There's even a level editor where you can make your own stuff, and this all feels kind of illegal and unholy. Although, I suppose, in a way, Jesus was crucified so I could play Angry Birds VR, so it wasn't all for nothing, I suppose. There are so many better Angry Birds games that you could get, and for a lower price. You could even get better VR games. It's really a bad deal either way. This game has good qualities, and I'm sure if it had more time put into it and had better tracking, this would be pretty fun. But as it stands, this is a pretty lackluster attempt at recapturing what made the Angry Birds game so special. Probably don't buy this one. At least when you're sick and tired of this game, you can finally kill yourself. Or not. And when I want to you know, do that. There's only one group of people that can help me. Support dogs. And I'm enlisting the best support dogs I know. This really is the Adventure City cause. I love Paw Patrol! Who doesn't love Paw Patrol? Except for everyone over the age of 5. I have a history of playing Paw Patrol games. I played the first one, the second one, the third one. I just love them. And I have to say, this Paw Patrol game is definitely the one of them all. It's got graphics, it's got gameplay, it's got everything. And I'm here to detail to you how much I love this game.
Lead the way.
Oh no. Welcome to Paw Patrol, the only game that teaches you how to move. I mean, I didn't need this. I'm thankful I played a VR game before this, or else I don't think I'd know how to move. You just go around in these really fixed perspective 3D levels. You can't turn the camera, you can't go anywhere, and there's just random people having conversations that last forever. I don't understand who made this game, what state they were in, because it's a Paw Patrol game, so you'd think everyone has some sane state of mind, but I don't think they did. I think this game's a cover-up for something greater, and we're gonna find it together, because by God, that isn't Ryder, and I want to know what happened to him. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this game is clearly made for babies, which means I probably shouldn't be playing it, but even so, surely for a button mashing minigame, I should have to press the button more than 6 times. It's really easy, but I don't know if I'd ever be able to bring myself to 100% this, because it's so lifeless and dull. Everything is so bland, and quite honestly, this game uses so many assets from the other Paw Patrol games I've played, and it's hard to tell whether this is a game or a scrap DLC. It's pretty upsetting, but if there's one thing we can take away from this, it's that maybe these support dogs won't be able to assist me after all. And also, in the conquest to find out where Ryder is, I discovered something much more sinister. So there's this section in the game where you have to drive along this eerie road, and I was trying to figure out what was so eerie about this, but I realised not only am I wondering where is Ryder, where is anyone? Not only does this street last forever, the architects must have pissed themselves when they realised what job this was, but the world just ends. You can see the end of it, and there's no one here. There's not one person in this world except these dogs. Who are we saving? There's no one to save. We're sat here on this endless road and we're never going to get out. Yeah, we completed the mission, yes! And when we complete things, we're looking at the last thing in the series. So like the last little Where's Wally book with the magnifying glass, we're looking at the final game in this weird saga. It's Toy Story 3, and I'm not talking about the huge breakout success of the movie, or the equally successful game. I'm talking about... Oh, these faces are in my nightmares. Yeah, it's Toy Story 3 on the PSP. Normally, when people think about this game, they think of not this version, and that's for a good reason. I think these guys are in my walls. Now, obviously, it's Toy Story related, so it's probably good. I don't have high hopes, and you know what, after playing Paw Patrol, anything's good. So just give me a sweet taste of what this game has to offer. I told you they were under my bed this whole time! You know it gets good when it starts with an image of your main 2 characters after a successful drug deal. Me and the boys after a long day of work. Hashtag duo dub. I hate myself. To the 2 people who don't know what Toy Story 3 is or haven't watched it, it's just watch it. It's so easy to watch. It's everywhere. It's one of the most critically acclaimed animation movies ever, and this game captures it pretty well. I mean, look at these graphics. For being a PSP game, these are pretty good. The gameplay's fine. Everything's just good enough to where I'm fine playing this. In fact, it's pretty fun sometimes. Although, this definitely doesn't beat the Wii version of the game. Man, so many good memories of that game. This game's still a perfectly viable option if you want to play the Toy Story game. I don't know why you'd want to set your sights on playing the Toy Story 3 game. But, I mean, you do you if you want. So one thing that's special about this game is all the unique mini-games you can play. You get these by getting coins throughout the game and spending them in the in-game shop. Luckily there's no microtransactions. Don't know how they would program that into a PSP game, but knowing Sony, they would find a way. It's pretty fun, and there's a lot of variety you can get by playing these. So you can get an enjoyable experience that you can't get by playing the Wii version, which I think is crazy because with any other game this would be a shameless, awful pour with like 2D graphics and Jessie that stares into my soul. Okay, to be fair, this game does have that, but the game's good. there's not really much to say. There's no exaggerated things I can say about it, because that's all this game is. It's good. It's not as good as the other versions of this game, but if you want to play it, knock yourself out, just like Buzz did right there. You'll notice I haven't talked about Bullseye, the famous horse from Toy Story yet, and that's because I have enough horses to talk about in the next game. My Little Pony. I don't need to explain My Little Pony to you, and I don't want to, because I don't know anything about them, except there are loads of horses, and they all make me want to kill myself. You know, My Little Pony isn't something I talk about much, and it's not something I especially want to, but this game, I played it, it wasn't that bad. It was pretty mindless in the walking around and platforming sections, but there are these mini-games sprinkled in that actually do take a fair bit of challenge. Your 5-year-old might cry his eyes out trying to beat these. Probably not the desired effects, actually, but, yeah, gets the job done. I actually enjoyed this game so much I platinumed it, which, I mean, probably not something I should be boasting. But, hey, this game is decent. It's pretty short, and it has a story full of characters that don't really matter, except for like one of them who has a funny voice. It's actually the vast majority of them have funny voices, and then at the end it told me friendship was still magic, so I quit. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my whole life. All in all, some of these games do genuinely have good stuff to offer, but a lot of these you'd be better off inhaling fumes than playing them, which is what I feel like I'm doing anyway. Probably don't buy any of these, but if you have to, buy ones that are better than any of the ones I've showcased in this video, and don't do what I did. But I mean, that can kind of go for most things in life. Well, back to eating my peanuts, and I'm not talking about the dog yet. Thank you to everybody so much for watching this video. It's definitely the most effort I've ever put in a video, so it would help if you could tell me in the comments how I did and what you want me to cover next. I'm going to try and upload like once a month maybe with this format of video. And hopefully that means I can put a high level of quality into it while still talking about stuff as much as you guys want. Make sure to subscribe if you want, it makes me feel happy. Subscribe to my friends if you want, it probably makes them feel happy. And yeah, goodbye.